Week 2. So, I think overall, one thing that I've learned from this entire experience is self-management. I say this after spending an entire Sunday trying to get myself organized. Not only that, but I think in every single one of my classes, whereas before it was kind of alright, I'll help you, come to my office hours, we'll figure it out, or a direct answer, more and more I'm getting from professors, figure it out, ask a classmate, read this syllabus. And first couple of times I didn't like it, to be completely honest. But now I do, because slowly I'm learning more on my own. My tech course, which is the course I do these reflections for, is one of those classes where at first I was not good with technology, didn't even want to think about doing it. But as I started playing with it more, with Yola Site and with my iPad and with so many other things, I discovered that this is exactly what I expect from my students. I expect them to learn through inquiry. I expect them to learn through experimenting and trying different things out. Why shouldn't I do it myself? So having this tech course on my own, or not on my own, but as a class trying to figure it out, has not only taught me how to do things on my own, but it's taught me how to work with my peers, which is something I was never good at before. Before it was kind of alright, group project, no way, doing it on my own. I'll do it by myself, I'll figure it out on my own, I'll write the paper on my own, or if I worked in a group I would just do everything myself. And now that that's so much more difficult, now as a group when we decide, alright, you know what, let's do this, let's do that, it's so much better. And as a cohort, we're growing so much. Which is crucial just for this year. Because this upcoming year we're going to have to be able to rely on each other. Be able to go to one another and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this, I'm having trouble with that. And that's going to be part of that huge support system. That's part of the reason why I joined AUSL period, because I wanted that support system, I wanted that guidance. And all this kind of figure it out on your own has really helped me get there, and I appreciate it a whole lot. Something I was worried about at first, since the beginning, was me having to do teacher moves, especially because I went to a training site. I did my student teaching at a training site where I was treated like a resident. And now I notice more and more that these strategies, I use them, but I didn't know why I was using them. In 10 weeks, I didn't see the true effects of using them. And as I'm learning how to use them better, why to use them, when to use them, I feel as though I'm taking a completely different course. My first reflection was all about how I thought this was redundant and how I've done much of this before. And although I was getting more in depth, now I feel I'm getting so much more in depth just as to the purpose of things. I've done all my lesson plans in the UBD model. Didn't really know why I should do it that way, just knew that's the way it was taught. And as I hear my peers talking about this is so much better, this is so, saying all these things about UBD, I'm starting to realize, yes, this is what I've had the most experience with, yes, this is what I've always used, this is why it's good that I was trained this way, this is why my university chose to train me this way. It's the same thing for teacher moves, same thing for all my teaching of seminars. I did a practice in front of the whole class where I narrated and did all that stuff. And not only am I rusty, but I feel as though I knew why I was doing it. I was doing it with more of a purpose. I was more aware of why I was doing it. And I feel like that's really going to help me going into the classroom. So I have my 10 weeks of prior experience, and now I'm going to have my 10 weeks of, or not 10 weeks, but a lot more weeks of experience, and I'll truly be prepared as a first-year teacher. And in general, just having that class to kind of get more in depth is a great experience. And to have it with people that are also teaching the same level that I'm going to be teaching, middle school, which is also something I've been very unsure about. In general, this week has been hectic. It went by quickly. There was not enough hours in it, in my opinion. But I've learned a whole lot, and I've done most of it on my own. Whereas before I depended on peers and professors. Not anymore. So, I'm interested to see how this plays out. And aside from being stressed, I feel as though it's a comforting stress. Because I know I'm actually getting something done. Not the kind of stress I had before where it was kind of, hey, get this done in 2 days because you put it off a week. Now it's kind of you're doing this for a reason, learn while you're doing it. This concludes my week 2 reflection. Let's see how the rest of this week plays out.